please welcome the athletes to the field of play for the Recurve Men bronze medal match.
Valuable ranking points and a place on the podium up for grabs now. It's time for the bronze medal match in the Recurve men's individual competition as the USA take on Korea. And it's time to welcome the athletes out to the shooting line.
On target number 1, representing the United States of America.
En la vaca número 1, representando Estados Unidos de América,
Brady Ellison. On target number 2, representing the Republic of Korea.
y en la vaca número 2, representando a Corea,
Woo Seok. The line judge for this matchup is
el juez del partido,
Fatima Abuyarade.
So here we go. A bronze medal up for grabs with a load of ranking points as well, which are critical for both of these athletes who will want to make an appearance at the Hyundai Archery World Cup Finals in Hermosillo in Mexico a little bit later on this year. Brady Ellison from the USA taking on Woo Seok from Korea. It's a little bit about bragging rights as well between these two. Both no strangers to the podium. And I want to stop the other one from getting that third spot. It will be Woo Seok to get the match underway.
8.
Yeah, and Brady will have had to figure out where to aim off and if to aim off by himself, whereas you could see Woo Seok and Kim Ye-duk, the previous match, after the match, they were already discussing where the wind was coming from, how much they were aiming off, etc. So I would say a little bit of a tactical advantage there, but Brady starts off and out of the gates begins with a 10.
Eight.
Ocho. Yes, en toda la línea.
28 set. Ellison needs a 10 to share the points. And he gets it. Well,
There it is. Looking at some
these matches
set number 1,
in this individual session throughout have been fabulous entertainment. And this one has started
1 set point for Brady, 1 set point
like it's going to be the same thing. The set points shared, I didn't see anything curious in terms of a measure with any of those arrows. A good look there at the two 10s and a bit of a gap between the line and the 8 arrow.
Yeah, and I think he probably just pulled that one a little bit, but he didn't seem too surprised with that arrow hitting an 8.
A semi-final matchup that went in favor of Woo Seok.
Yeah, I think it's not as windy now, but it's still difficult to grasp when it is and when it isn't windy because of the positioning of the flags and the shelter from the tent, so you cannot really feel where the wind is. But it's also very difficult to see because of the flags being all covered. So not the easiest venue to shoot at when it's windy, but regardless of that fact, we've seen some very impressive scoring already today. So
Set number 2, nothing between the pair.
9.
This bronze medal match, and yeah, it is curious, isn't it? Because some are going off to the left and some are going off to the right. It's not like it's a consistent pattern.
yeah, and I don't necessarily think the wind goes from left to right and from right to left. I think it's just going to be going from right to left, for instance, but then sometimes it's blowing a bit harder and sometimes it's blowing a bit less, and it's difficult to gauge how hard it is actually blowing and how much you should adjust for it.
8.
Ocho. Number 1 set.
This is an opportunity for Woo Seok. Can put this out of reach now. Drives it into the middle of the target for another 28. And that is now out of reach for Brady Ellison in this set.
8.
And it's just confusion. Like his whole face is just screaming confusion.
I think, you know, if there's any golfers out there watching, they'll get an idea for this. That if you hit off a tee which can be exposed or it might be in some shelter, and you're hitting down a fairway that has its tree line, as the ball climbs above the tree line, it's going to get hit by the wind a lot more, and then as it comes down and gets shaded by the wind, shaded from the wind with the trees, the ball will move less. There will be less wind influence. It's kind of like the arrow as well. There'll be more influenced and less influenced as it goes down the range.
Yeah, it's a very similar way to think about it, yeah. And you can see in these shots how high the arrow actually rises over the ground. So it's, I think in some cases the arrows go like 4 meters up in the air. And there is going to be more and different wind there than there is in the venue. So something to take into account, but clearly not easy today to gauge how much you should take it into account.
Well, I'm sure they'll both be glad that there's no rain today in Medellin like there was yesterday on Compound Saturday. Just what the doctor ordered for Brady Ellison.
Yeah, and essentially, if Woo Seok were to just match every end from now on, he's going to walk away with the win. It's a bit of a stretch to say at 3 plays 1, but that is what could happen in this situation. He did not expect that arrow to hit the middle. You could see almost a bit of fear on his face when he released that one.
Yeah, there was a lot of elbow greasing trying to move it across. But a 10 from Ellison, his best score so far in the match at 29. Woo Seok is on for a perfect here. Oh, and he gets it, and that is problematic now for Brady Ellison, because 5-1 up for Woo Seok, and he'll shoot second, and all he has to do is match what Ellison does to collect the bronze medal. Confusion, you say? Confusion.
Yeah, it's just they are looking for the secret potion to hit the middle, but they cannot really find it. Well, I say they cannot find it, but Woo Seok manages to shoot a 30 versus a 29 from Brady, so it's not going that bad this end.
And there was the fear, and there was the surprise. What a difference a 10 makes. I think he got away with that one.
Yeah, I think it felt like he got away with that one for himself as well. I think he'll be looking back at that arrow and thinking, I had a little bit of help from above there.
Set number 4, a must win for Brady Ellison if he's going to remain with a chance for the bronze medal here in Medellin.
8.
And called a straight 8 in venue.
Yeah, and I'd have to agree with that.
Well, this one could drift away, but you can just see the wind's picked up again on the shooting line. No problem for Woo Seok. Good recovery from Ellison.
Yeah, it's going to be tough though for Brady Ellison to get back into this match, especially after that arrow. This will mean that regardless of what Brady does, Woo Seok will at most have to shoot an arrow that hits the 8 ring, and in this case the 6 ring, to get the match.
Yeah. Made it easy from set number 2. 30 in the last set. 28 in this set, but it's more than enough. And Woo Seok from Korea secures the bronze medal with a 7-1 victory over Brady Ellison. Korea have 2 athletes that will be on the podium a little bit later on. Ellison picks up a bag load of ranking points. And he will walk away from this a little bit disappointed immediately, but then pretty happy. He's probably, I'm not going to call him a banker for the Hyundai Archery World Cup finals, but he's certainly in a very good position to qualify by ranking. But the podium spot goes to Korea's Woo Seok here in Medellin.